Rich, in the studio performing at Stand Up Live is Bobby Slayton. And before you say anything, Bobby, I just want to tell you something.
That was the worst introduction I've ever had. Okay, but go.
Okay, good.
The worst intro ever.
Because I know once you start, it's all over.
Rich, you want to give me an introduction? Rich,
listen.
No, because Johnjay, I would think.
Yeah, he's
okay,
good. He's a good-looking guy.
First of all, I don't know why Kyle is not in any. I go in the office and there's photos of you guys, you egotistical bastard, you. Well, there should be a giant picture of Kyle. I'm going to get you the next poster. I'm going to get you in the next poster.
The problem is we haven't had a budget since Kyle started on the show. You know how radio is right now.
I'm going to change all that.
Okay, how about Stand Up Live? He's a legend. You're performing at Stand Up Live downtown Phoenix this weekend.
You don't have to rush the introduction. Let me go. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, even though I'm sorry, I've just got a little bit of Bieber fever. I'm just getting over it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have in the studio one of our favorite comedians, Comedy Central's Top 100 Comics. You've seen him in the HBO movie The Rat Pack. He's been in Dreamgirls, Get Shorty, a million movies, Mind of the Married Man, a great HBO series. His last Showtime special, Born to be Bobby, was fabulous. And again, he'll be at Stand Up Live through Sunday. We're so happy to have him on our little show.
Okay.
This is awesome.
Look at you go. Look at you go.
You are part of the reason I'm in radio.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm going to tell you.
Sorry.
In 1990, I was an intern in San Diego, and one of my first jobs was to help set up the morning show at the Improv for a live broadcast.
That was a great club.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you were the comic that was the guest with Berger and Prescott on the alternative station 91X.
I think I remember this.
They had come over from a rock station, and so I was setting up banners. I had never been to an improv. I was only like 19 years old or something, but they let me in, and I was setting stuff up. You came walking in, and you killed. I had never laughed so hard. I mean, I'm half Mexican. I'm white, but I'm half Mexican. You're Mexican.
It's not my fault.
Your Mexican jokes,
Mexican.
dude.
He's in radio. It's like it's all my fault now.
Dude, I'm just telling you. I thought if this is what morning radio is like, then I'm going to pursue it. And I haven't seen you since. I've seen you on TV a million times. Silver suit, all that stuff.
Silver suit.
You're always wearing a silver suit.
What am I, superhero?
Yeah.
Silver suit. I've never worn a silver suit. No, what I wear is what I wear a lot of times when I love these '60s vintage suits. When I did the movie years ago, The Rat Pack on HBO with
Ray Liotta. It's a great show.
Yeah, it was a good little movie, and they put me in this really cool, suits with the skinny little tie, and I said, I got to get more of these. And I started going to all these thrift stores when I went on the road, and now they're kind of hip and they're hard to find, especially in LA, because I buy them all up. But I go on the road and I find these great vintage suits from the 50s and 60s, maybe $100, $150, $100 to tailor them, and I'd rather wear that suit than wear a $3,000 Armani. They just look really cool, but maybe they kind of look sober to you.
Well, yeah, when I saw them on TV, but I'd be like, that's the guy, and I started watching it, so I followed you for 20 freaking years, dude.
Well, let me tell you, I've done a lot of radio shows, and I've never been so thrilled. I swear to God, I've done 5 radio shows today. I did a bunch of them yesterday. When I came in here, they gave me a giant bottle of Smart Water. I was so happy. Oh, by the way, Rich, what is this? What do you take, one sip of water? There's like 8 bottles in the producer's office all over the place, and everybody in the station is pissed at you.
They're pissed at me.
Yeah, because he goes, not Johnjay, it's Rich. He takes one sip of a bottle of water. It's like Jerry Lewis will wear one pair of socks and never wear it again.
Look, I'm only about halfway done with this one.
What are all those bottles that are sitting in there?
I forget where I put them, and then people bring them back in because I'm running around, I'm doing stuff. I forget where I leave the water.
There's 8 of them on the producer's desk. I don't want you to finish every one of those before you open another bottle.
I promise I will.
Do you understand me, young man?
I'll be well hydrated for you, Bobby Slayton.
Talk to me about me being Mexican. Talk about Mexicans.
There you go.
First of all, what's the other half? What's Johnjay? Johnjay sounds
a Dutch Mexican.
It's funny you mentioned that because I went to Amsterdam, and the only guy I ever met, I met a guy named Johnjay in Amsterdam, and I was going, that's got to be a Dutch thing.
It's a total Dutch name. Yeah.
The Dutch thing is great. Your Heineken's good. The wooden shoes, thank God they didn't take off. I thought those Uggs were bad enough. But what's the thing about Dutch people is that the one thing that you created is when you date a girl and you have to pick up, you pay for it separately. That's going Dutch.
Right.
You call it going Dutch, or I call it not getting any. Because everything you got to do is pay for a woman if you want to get any. And I'll tell you right now, it's like my anniversary. It was my anniversary last week.
Happy anniversary.
My wife passed away since then, Kyle. That was last week.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Are you married?
No.
Yeah, you've been married?
Nope.
This marriage thing, it's 23 years of marriage.
Incredible.
Yeah, with a wind chill factor, it's like 100 years. But the great thing about it is
your wife cool? At least she's got to be cool. Does she get you? Does she know you're just my wife doesn't know I'm just joking? Does your wife know you're joking?
Does she know I'm joking? Here's the thing. When I met her 25 years ago, I had jokes about a psycho ex-girlfriend. And so all these jokes about my girlfriend just turned into my wife. And my wife knew they weren't really about her. Yeah. But over the years, she's grown into it because she's become more psycho over the years. And then, of course, having a 23-year-old daughter who's also a nut and whose boyfriend is one of Michael Jackson's dancers, he now lives at the house.
Whoa.
Yeah, my whole home is like reality show. It's really unbelievable.
You allow your beautiful daughter to have her boyfriend move into your home.
Well, he was staying there anyway. It's almost like when I was a kid, my parents let me smoke pot in the house because they knew I was going to go out and drink, and instead of going out to drink and drive. I mean, it's a double-edged sword. So it's like she didn't want to stay at his house because he has a cat, and she was allergic to the cat. So the guy just was kind of staying in my house, and then we kind of let him move in. Before you know it, they're kind of cohabitating. But what's interesting is that my wife blames me for that. That was your idea. And it was because I said, okay, anytime I make a mistake, it was always, you have kids, right?
Yeah, I got 3 of them. I have a daughter.
You have a daughter, okay.
She's only 5, though.
She's 5, okay.
I'm listening to you with great interest.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Anytime your daughter or even your son does something wrong, well, that's your son. That's, and every time my daughter was little and she'd get straight A's in school, my wife would always go, well, you never did well in school. She takes after me. And my daughter's beautiful. She's very talented. Well, she takes after me. But every time she did something wrong, she got a D in math one year. And my wife goes, well, that's because, you spend so much time with her talking about how bad school is. And anytime there's a problem in the house, it's because she's my daughter. She takes after me. But getting back to the fact that my daughter's boyfriend lives with us, my mother, of course, doesn't get that. My mother's old school. My mother goes, you let a boy stay. Well, I said, first of all, he's 25. She's 23. And she'll say to me, you let him stay in your house? She lives in your daughter's, he lives in your daughter's room.
He's in the daughter's room?
Yes. And of course,
I'm with Grandma right now.
Of course, my mother goes, well, don't you think something's going on in there? I go, there's nothing going on in there because she got that from her mother. So I know there's nothing happening. There's absolutely nothing happening at all. And plus, he's one of Michael Jackson's dancers, so he's got to be gay. So I think everything's fine. Maybe
what happened to the cat?
Huh?
Where's the cat? Did he bring the cat with him?
No, this was actually roommate's kid. Yeah, he had a cat, and he's a dancer. Hello.
Yeah, right.
Hello.
You're totally fine.
But it's interesting. When my daughter, I was living in Vegas kind of back and forth when this whole thing went down, when she started dating him. And I remember coming home one night, my daughter says to me, you're finally going to meet my boyfriend. And you know what? When you're a father, and you'll see when your daughter starts to date.
I freak out even thinking about it.
You freak out thinking, and every friend I know whose daughters grew up, I mean, it's part of life. And then
maybe I'll be dead by then. I won't have to worry about it.
Well, I was hoping for that, too. But what happens is, and then your daughter, grows up, she moves out, and you're stuck with your wife. That's why life sucks. How come your wife can't grow up, and your children stay with you? Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Honey, you're 50, you're getting big, you can't cook, you don't put out, you need to get your own place.
Yeah, see, here's the thing.
I think Kyle just had an orgasm. What was that? Oh my God! She sounds like Dino from the Flintstones.
I think I'm lucky so far, Bobby, because my daughter's 5, but her favorite foods are bacon and salt. So I'm just gonna, once she starts getting really pretty, I'm just gonna reintroduce that back into the food groups, and we'll be fine. She'll be living with Daddy for a long time.
Bacon and salt.
Isn't that great?
That's really.
Don't know where that comes from.
Yeah,
she gets that from her mother.
She gets it from her mother. There you go. You know what's funny is my daughter is actually getting ready to move out with her boyfriend, and they're getting an apartment finally. And my wife's thrilled to death because she says, well, now we have privacy and we can have sex anytime we want to. And I said, really? Are you moving out too? I was like, where's my rim shot? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be back in Vegas. Actually, you guys, I know, are syndicated around the world. The world. And I know. It's interesting, and I love coming to Phoenix. I love coming to Arizona. But if I lived here, I think more than any other state, it would drive me crazy.
Why?
Because drivers are bad everywhere. I really never seen anything this horrendous in my life as the drivers in Arizona. When it says 35, they go 25. No, when it says 35, you go 45. You don't go less, you jackass. I would have road rage. I mean, I have major road rage. And my wife, if somebody doesn't make a right turn on a red light, I want to see their car just blow up in flames. My wife goes, you're not in a hurry. I know it doesn't matter. They got to make a right turn on a red light. It's the rules. It's the rules of the people. It's the law of the road. You got to just go. Maybe it's because I'm from New York. I don't know if you can tell.
When you drive, you're in a hurry. You're going to get somewhere, right?
I see in New York, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but when they raised the speed limit, I remember years ago, there's 55 everywhere. And to me, it wasn't the rule. It was just a suggestion. This is what we suggest you do. If you don't want to do it, you don't do it.
Starting off point.
That's the other thing, too. Other people, when they drive fast, they're maniacs. But if you're driving fast, it's because you're aware of what's going on and you're okay with it.
Yes, and the carpool lane doesn't mean you have 2 people in your car.
No.
It means you're going as fast as you possibly can. And if you're not, just get out of the way. I just have no patience. I'm always in a hurry. And I think...
Well, you're not a Prius guy, are you? You're not a... you don't seem like a earth-friendly kind of dude.
No, I don't really care about the earth. No, I hate people too much. I used to care a lot about the earth, but, when you just... it's like this morning. I have no patience. This morning at 5 a.m. I'm up at 5 a.m. I just can't sleep. I'm up at 5 a.m. I'm downtown. I go to Starbucks. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. And there's a line at Starbucks at 5 a.m. And, being a New Yorker, I was in New York last week, and there's coffee shops, there's deli delis, there's diners. You don't really see that around the country too much. And you go in, you get yourself a cup of coffee. But Starbucks is a line because Starbucks is the one that started that whole, decaf, half calf, latte, the whole thing where, it's a holiday season, so for a limited time only. It's, it's Christmas time, and we have the pumpkin chai, tea, spice, and Thanksgiving with peppermint. Why don't you just have a line for coffee and a line for homo drinks? That's all I'm saying. And it's not, I don't love gay people, but, you don't have to be gay to get a homo drink. Just get out of the, people, it's like, they have Taco Bell Express now. Was Taco Bell not fast enough for you people? How fast does fast food need to get? What do you eat it and it shoots right out of your butt? How fast? What does it say in the burrito? You must eat this by a toilet? It's the fastest food ever invented.
Does the mall itself freak you out? You don't seem like a mall guy either. If you're a New York guy,
no,
you probably like, if you're going to thrift shops, the mall's probably going to be a total turnout for you.
I was in New York last week playing a club. I walked 900 blocks in a week. And when you're in New York, you can just walk and walk and walk. Here, you can kind of walk in the wintertime. I mean, I love Phoenix and I love coming to places. I love Florida because people like to live in the sun. You got the snowbirds coming down. They come to Arizona. But in the summertime, it's not living in the sun. It's like living on the sun. You're actually on the sun when you're here. You can't really walk too far. It's really deadly,
Yeah, my kids always want to go outside and play. And I'm like, you want to go outside and play on a different day when it's not 135 degrees outside.
You know what my problem with the mall is? And this happened in my beloved city of New York, is that everywhere you go, you're in the mall, you can be in any city. The only way you know which city you're in when you're in a mall is if you walk into a sports place. Now there's a Cincinnati Reds store, the New York Giants store. If you have the sports team, then oh, that's the city that I'm in. But even New York City has become everything Starbucks. My favorite deli is now a Radio Shack. My favorite newsstand I used to go to is now a Verizon store. So the whole city, and by the way, Subway is not a deli. It's not a deli. A deli is a place where one guy, whether he's a Mexican, an old Jew, a Puerto Rican, makes your sandwich. You go to Subway, there's like 8 guys there making your sandwich. It's like a retarded remedial sandwich making class. There's one guy in charge of the lettuce. There's one guy toasting the bread. Can I get pickles on that? No, I'm sorry. The pickle guy's sick today. I can give you extra tomato or you can get a rain check. And I know you can't use the word retarded. You probably edit that out. But the word homo retarded. And there's a lot worse words that they can all see this weekend. At Stand Up.
Nicely done. Look at you on a tear.
I turn it right
Stand
back
Up
to
Live downtown this weekend.
Have you guys been there?
Oh,
yeah, it's beautiful.
480-719-6100 or standuplive.com.